Serious allegations were levelled against law enforcement officials at the Madlanga Commission this past week. And for more on this, let's now bring in political analyst Professor André Duvenhage. He is from the Northwest University and joins us now via our virtual line. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, really a number of allegations emerged this week from the top cop from the KZN, that is Mkhwanazi, just detailing, of course, law enforcement being implicated in very serious allegations at the Madlanga Commission. Let's start off here. What do these allegations then mean, Professor, for ordinary citizens in this country when it comes to whether they can trust law enforcement and judicial processes in this country if, hearing testimonies of this nature?
Good evening, Bali and the viewers. It is absolute a core characteristic of a criminal state when you cannot differentiate between the criminal elite and the political elite. And now listening to General Mkhwanazi, and he implicated several people, among them 3 police ministers, Nathi Ntetwa, Bheki Cele, as well as Zenzu Mchunu. But he also implicated the South African Police Service, implicating the Metro Police, even the presidency, business people, and members of parliament. Now, there still need to be tests in terms of these allegations.
Yeah.
There need to be cross-examination. We cannot just accept it on face value. But the matter here is very, very serious. And clearly, I will be very concerned with a criminal justice system that is facing these type of allegations. Clearly, it is not upholding the principle of the rule of law, and it is in essence an element of what we can describe you will find in a corrupt state.
And Professor, I mean, hearing that testimony from General Mkhwanazi, one then also asks, who then investigates the police? Because here you find allegations being levelled against the police by a KZN police commissioner.
Yes, Bali, indeed. We must also take into consideration that the Madlanga Commission will report to the President. And in a way, the President and his cabinet is implicated. The President is the prime responsible person in this regard for this matter. So in a sense, the report will go to people implicated. And this doesn't make a lot of sense. Fortunately, there's a second committee coming from Parliament that is a bit more representative from different political parties. But clearly, we have a problem with the process, and it's also a historical problem. We have seen that with the SABC Commission, no action coming, the Mkhwanazi Commission about political assassinations, and the biggest one of them all, the Zondo Commission. So there is really concerns that although there may be findings, there's not going to be any action. And what is clear is that senior politicians and businessmen and others are implicated in this regard.
And Professor, you mentioned another parallel process that will be taken when it comes to Parliament, and that ad hoc committee will also then be calling their own witnesses to come and testify, one that being General Mkhwanazi from KZN. What powers does the ad hoc committee then have in terms of acting against these allegations?
Well, that they have a lot of powers. They can bring in people to testify, they can make findings, and they can take decisions, normally through parliamentary processes and parliamentary procedures, because the job of the legislator is to keep the executive on their toes. In that sense, it can bring responsible government to the fore, and therefore I believe that the ad hoc commission is probably the more important one. But already we have seen a lot of evidence implicating senior politicians, and I believe this is only the beginning, and this may have a huge impact on the ANC as a government, but also as a political party, a government as part of the government of national unity. And I think we haven't listened to the final words about this case. A lot is going to happen and can happen in the next months.
And before I let you go, Professor, of course, South Africans have really been concerned when it comes to issues of commissions taking place in the country, saying that it usually takes, quite some time until they then wrap up. When can we expect the president of the country to then act on the allegations which have been presented? Can it be the next year or so? Because we still do understand that many witnesses still need to come and defend themselves at the Madlanga Commission.
Mbali, that is the big problem. Now, the time scheduled for the commission is about 6 months, but there's no scheduled time for the president to react. And we have seen the slow reaction from the president when it came to the Zondo Commission and the findings with regard to state capture implicating senior people within the ANC and even the ANC as an organization. So in that sense, it's an open question, and we know that there are succession battles going on within the ANC, and I believe under these circumstances, the president will play for time.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. That's political analyst there, Professor André Duvenhage from the Northwest University, giving us his insight in terms of the Madlanga Commission that began earlier on this week.